Hi, I'm Sophie from Encodian, and today I'm going to be taking you through how you can start to make your own custom AI text prompts in the Power Platform and how you can use these in Power Automate and in Power Apps. So prompts are a new feature as part of the AI Builder package in the Power Platform, and there's pre-built prompts, but you can also now start to make your own prompts so you can tailor these to what you need it to do. So let's have a look and see how you can start to build and use these. So let's first look at how you can start to see your prompts and build new prompts. So let's go to make.powerapps.com, and I'm just on the home page at the moment. So if we come to this left navigation screen, we can see here that we've got the AI Hub. So the AI Hub is the newly labelled area for anything to do with AI in the Power Platform. So within the AI Hub, you can see AI models, the AI prompts, and you have a load of learning resources as well here for you to use. So coming into prompts, because that's what we're going to be looking at today, we can see that we've got 4 readily made pre-built prompts. So we can start to respond to complaints, classify text, extract information from text, and summarize text. So if I just open one of these, so this is our prompt builder. Because this is a pre-built prompt, our prompt has already been written and made and tested. However, if you liked the look of one of the pre-built prompts, but you just wanted to tweak it a little bit and make it a bit more tailored and customizable to you, you can actually go ahead and edit these pre-built prompts and save them as a new custom prompt. So I've already pre-built 2 prompts. I've got my grammar fixer and my client email response. So let's go ahead and open this up. So we can see we've got the same prompt window, but this is my grammar fixer. This is the prompt I've provided. So I've asked it to correct the spelling and grammar in this message. And this message here, and what you probably noticed on the pre-built prompt, these are our dynamic input values. And these are going to change each time the prompt is called, similar to how you use dynamic values in Power Automate, because they're dynamic. So in my case, my dynamic value is going to be the actual text that's going to be grammar checked and spell checked. So you can actually go through and also start to test your prompts as well, just to make sure you're happy with them before you start to use them. So I'm just going to quickly type in my test here. And this is my message response. And we can see now it is grammatically correct and the spelling is all correct too. So let's go into my second example. This example is going to be looking at an email message, and I've asked it to write a professional email response back to this message that's going to a client. And when you're writing these prompts, the more descriptive you are, the better the outcome is going to be. So the pre-built prompts, they had a lot more text than I've provided, but as much detail and as much information that you can give is going to result in a better answer from the prompt. My dynamic input here is the email message itself, but I've also got the client name being saved and my name being saved so that they can be used in the email to address and sign the email message. So let's go ahead and test this prompt. So my email message is going to be, so this is the response to our test. We can see that it's in an email format. We've got Dear Customer, signing off from Sophie. And we can, if you read it, it is professional, so it has worked as expected. So let's have a look at how you can start to use prompts within Power Apps. So to use the prompts, we need to first add them into the app. So to do this, we can come to the Data tab here, click Add Data. And underneath the Tables section, we have our AI Models section here. So this contains our AI Builder models, but it also contains our AI Builder prompts. So if I just scroll down here, we can see that we've got our client email response, the other custom prompts that we made earlier in the video. So I've already added in my grammar fixer prompt, and once your prompt has been added into the app, you use it similar to how you would use a Power Automate and how you would run a Power Automate. So let's come to the actual app itself. This app is just very simple, and it's just been made for this video to show you how you can start to use prompts. So apologies, it's not the prettiest app in the world. So my app is made up of 2 text inputs, this one where we're actually going to be typing in the text, and this one where the grammatically and spell checked text is going to go. Now this bottom text input is disabled because we don't want people to type into it. We just need to be able to get the text out and copy and paste what's there. So where am I actually running the prompts from? It's being run from the onSelect property of this check text button. So we can see up here, I've got this formula, and the bit that's actually running the prompt is this bit here, where we've got grammar fixer, .predict, text input 1.text, which is this text input, .text. Now, the reason we have to have the extra .text on the end is because when you run your prompts, the results come back as a record, so we just need to go into that record and extract that text value from it. So let's give it an example question now, or text now, and see if it works. So we can see that the prompt has run, it ran quite quickly, and it's spit out our response here saying once upon a time a princess lived in a castle, it's added the comma and it's corrected my bad spelling. However, it's also come back with this message bit of text here, which isn't the end of the world, but if you want something that you can just quickly copy and paste to put into a document or into, say, a Teams message, and you're not going to want this here because it means you're actually going to have to think about where you start to copy and paste, and it will just look a bit nicer if it's not there. So to actually remove this message bit, we can do this by trimming up the string result. So I'm just going to comment this out, and we can use this formula here. Now I got this formula from Microsoft Docs, and this formula is basically going to split our text result at message here. So it's going to get rid of this message colon, and it's only going to leave us with the second half, the bit after the message colon. And of course I'm setting it again in this result variable here. And just to make it clear, I've got the default of this text input box being set as that result variable here. And the onSelect property of my clear text is resetting both the text inputs, and it's setting the result to nothing just to make sure we clear that variable before we start again. So let's run this again now. And we can see it's run with the same piece of text, but this time it doesn't have that message piece of text at the start. So now that we've seen how to add a prompt to Power Apps, let's have a look how you can actually start to add it to Power Automate. Now I'm going to be showing you this in the Classic Designer today, and I'll explain why a bit later on down in the video. So essentially, when you need to use your prompts in Power Automate, you add it in as an action. So if I come to add in a new prompt here, I'm going to go to the AI Builder connector, and the action we're looking for is create text with GPT using a prompt. Once you've got this open, you can then choose from any pre-built or custom prompts. So I'm just going to delete this step because I've already got my prompt added here, and we can see this time I've selected client email response. I put as my name to sign the email. I'm going to address the client as customer, but of course in a real life scenario you're probably not going to do this. This is just for demo purposes. And my input email is going to be the body of the email that is going to come through to me. So I'm just going to give you a bit of background about how this flow is working in context so we can understand what's happening here. So the trigger of my flow is when an email arrives in my client email folder. And this is because, you're going to receive lots of emails every day, but not all of them are going to be from clients. So when I receive a client email, a way to flag what client emails are is just to drag and drop them into the folder to read later. But as they get dragged into that folder, it's going to trigger off this flow. And again, this can be completely tweaked. It's just to get the flow running for this scenario. Now, when you're using these create text with GPT using a prompt actions in Power Automate, it's really highly recommended by Microsoft that you then put an approval of that generated piece of text next in your flow. And actually, if you don't put this approval next in your flow checker is going to give you a warning. So I've copied and pasted this flow. We can see that I'm now in the new designer, and I'm just going to go ahead and click save. And we can see here that I've now got this big yellow error message here saying that I need to add a start and wait for approval of text. Now, this is all to do with responsible AI. So yes, you may have tested your prompt and it worked in all the tests you gave it, but actually in a real life scenario, it may not perform as expected and it may not give the desired output, and what it's saying just might be completely wrong or completely inappropriate. That's why it's recommended before you do anything with the automatic creation of text from these prompts that they're reviewed by a human just to make sure that they are okay before they're being emailed out to clients or pieces of data are being used within the business. And this is why this warning message comes up. It's just feeding into that piece of responsible AI and what's recommended by Microsoft. So that's why I have got an approval of my text as my next step. So this is a new special type of approval that you can use after these prompt actions. They work exactly the same as the other type of approvals. However, you just need to fill in with that suggested text from the piece above. Because we've got an approval, I then need to have a condition looking at the outcome of my approval. So if you are setting this, the result will be approved. If yes, I'm then going to send an automatic reply to my client containing that piece of text that was generated. And if no, if I'm not happy with what the AI has generated, I'm just going to add a task to my to-do list so I remember to manually respond back to this email later. So I didn't address why I've got this initialize variable up the top here. And it's because if I just put into my email body down here the dynamic piece of text that was created by the AI, it's not going to have any line breaks in it. And this is because that piece of text is going to contain /n, which when you're reading the outputs from, if you compose it or look at it in Power Automate, it's going to look like an email with line breaks. But actually, when this goes out in Outlook and is sent out, it doesn't contain any line breaks because email bodies use HTML, and to HTML, the /n does not equal a line break. You need the BR tag. So we need to replace the /n with a BR tag. And unfortunately, when you're using replace, it doesn't always work as expected when using special characters like a /. It doesn't always work, and unfortunately, in this scenario, it will not work with that /n. So instead, we just add this new variable up here. This is literally just a line space, so I've just pressed enter in that value box there. We can use the outputs of that variable in our replace, so we're going to be replacing the variable new line with the BR tag. Now, the reason that I'm going through this demo today in the classic designer is because we want to place this replace in the HTML editor here, and I put it in the p tags too. And that's because we're using the BR lines now. That is a piece of HTML. We don't just want to put that in the normal body, or it's still not going to have the line breaks. It needs to be put into this HTML builder here, and then it will look as expected and as it's been showing up in your tests and as it's been showing up as you've been looking at it when you run the flow to test. Okay then, let's go and actually test this so we can see what this looks like. So I'm going to pretend that I am the client and I'm happy, so I just want to email and say how happy I am with the service. So I'm going to go ahead and email that across. So switching roles now, I'm now going to be the person who works at Encodian. I can see that client emails come in. I'm going to drop it into the client email folder so I don't lose it in case I ever have to come back to it. We can see that an email has come through to me as the worker at Encodian, and this is the generated AI text. So we can see, "Dear Mrs. Customer, thank you for reaching out." And you can read through, you're happy with it. And the AI message has even picked up on my email signature. When I never provided it my email signature, I only provided it with my name. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to approve this. We can then come back to the flow and we can see that it has been approved and it's gone through and sent an email. And I can see that I've just received an email. We check the time, we can see that that's just come through now. And this is what the email looks like. It's exactly the same as what it looked like on the prompt. It looks like it's an email message. It's got the line breaks, and really impressively, it has created me an email signature. So that's just one example of how you can start to use AI and use AI prompts and text generation in your Power Automates. So hopefully this video has shown you how you can start to build your own custom prompts within the Power Platform, and how you can start to use these in both Power Apps and Power Automate, and how actually, even though you can start to generate automated text responses using the Power Platform, it's always best practice to still double check these with a human before sending these out in emails and sending these out across the business. The examples I gave today are quite simple examples. Obviously, there are loads of different things that you can start to do with this and start to play around. So if you have any ideas, please leave a comment below. And as always, happy automating.